Coinbase saying the SEC has threatened to sue the U.S.-based crypto exchange over its yet-to-be-launched Lend program. Despite 6 months of ongoing discussions, Coinbase saying the SEC issued it a Wells notice, the regulator's formal way of announcing it may bring charges against companies or their employees. Now joining us to discuss is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Good morning, Nick.
Hey, good morning.
The SEC has Coinbase on their radar. What's going on?
Yeah, CEO Brian Armstrong and General Counsel Paul Grewal announced last night through Twitter and a blog post that they had received a Wells notice over their yet-to-be-launched Lend program, which was announced, I think, in June. So it's been a couple of weeks since it was publicly, revealed, but apparently discussions about this have been ongoing with the SEC for at least 6 months, so quite a bit longer than that. And the SEC apparently says that the Lend program, as it's currently structured, might violate federal securities law, and has even sent, as you said, a Wells notice, which is the SEC's formal way of saying, we think we have a case here. You have an opportunity to respond, and if we're not comfortable with the response, we can bring charges based on these factors.
Right, and it's interesting because Armstrong notes that they say there are a lot of lending programs out there that offer attractive yield. The SEC encourages companies to talk to them about any regulatory concerns, and here Coinbase is doing just that, but the SEC is basically freezing their project without any explanation?
Yeah, I think the big question here is, what exactly is in the Wells notice? So Coinbase, I don't think, has published that anywhere yet. I'm not sure if they're going to. I have asked, and waiting to see if that is publicly revealed. But if the Wells notice is published, that will probably give us a much greater insight into how exactly the SEC is approaching this. But yeah, at least at the moment, the SEC just seems to be viewing this as possibly maybe as similar to bonds or promissory notes, something like that. That would be considered or could be considered securities under federal law at the moment. But again, until we see the actual Wells notice, it's really hard to kind of figure out how the SEC is approaching this at the moment.
Is there any indication of what discussions have been like with the SEC? From what I understand, just from this blog post, things about the lending program, it potentially involves securities, according to the SEC, and they're citing the Howey test based on decades-old case law, but they won't explain how they've assessed this.
Yeah, I think this is where the blog post starts getting a little not vague, but it starts leaving some questions unanswered, right? The Howey analysis has been kind of how the SEC has been approaching crypto for years now, and I don't think anyone can say it's a surprise to hear Howey as an example. And all of the SEC's case law is based on actual cases that have been ruled one way or another by judges up to the Supreme Court. So the SEC kind of has to stick with that. They can't reinterpret these cases and say, okay, we think that this matches this, but we're going to give you a free pass. They might do that anyway, but under the law, they can't technically. So
right.
Yeah, I think this just kind of comes back to what exactly is in the details of this program and how does that match up to the tenets of the Howey test or the tenets of the Reeves test, and is that something that's going to result in lawyers saying, okay, yeah, this looks like a security.
And there also, it appears, the SEC is asking for a lot of information. They've asked for the name and contact information of every single person on the Lend wait list, correct?
Yeah, that I'm not sure if that's how they typically do it, but it sounds a little unusual, at least from what I've seen online so far. And maybe I honestly don't know what the mission here is. Maybe they're looking to see if these individuals are using lending programs at other companies, or maybe this information will be later used in different types of information gathering purposes. Possibly the SEC wants to know what the public has been told about this. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there yet.
Well,